first and foremost, and the only goal on my mind right now is a national championship. And I think winning a national championship, as long as you're winning, the accolades will come. As long as I just make an impact to this team in this year's run. But yeah, national championship is the only thing on my mind right now, and I think everything else will take care of itself.
So welcome to the NBA Draft Junkies podcast. I'm your host, Rafael Barlowe, and I am here in somewhere in North Carolina, Lincolnton, North Carolina, with Mikel Brown, a potential top 5 pick, but I also think he has a chance to be the #1 pick in the 2026 NBA Draft. So Mikel, thank you for your time today. I just want to start off with, how much has your life changed since the U19s? Like, you're getting a lot of buzz. And your play was phenomenal. I think you got robbed for the MVP, but we don't need to talk about that. Has your life changed a little bit as far as the attention now?
If people would say, I guess you would say that, but no, it really hasn't. Coming back from U19s, obviously it was a pleasure to be able to play for Team USA again and win back-to-back gold medals with Team USA. So, my life hasn't changed, and I still have my head down, and I'm still keep working. So my next focus is the next thing, and that's winning the national championship with my guys.
Yep. Yeah, I just feel like your name has just been trending up since that performance. I was actually there. I saw all the games. Got to talk to you about the left-hand pass. That went viral. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you've always worked on, passing with your opposite hand? Or are you ambidextrous? Tell me how that.
It's both actually. I work at it a lot. It took a lot of years to be able to even do that for me. But yeah, I'm ambidextrous in a sense, and I think that kind of helps and makes it easier just to be able to play with both hands. And I think it just makes life much simpler. I don't have to cross my body to do a right hand pass, so it keeps it more simple.
I'm jealous. I was all left hand. No matter how much I tried to work on my right hand, I just couldn't do it. And I always feel like, man, people that it comes natural to, they have like an unfair, but a positive advantage. Mm-hmm. Another thing I want to talk to you about is just your growth spurt. And I feel like your athleticism is catching up with your growth spurt. I've seen like some different people say, oh, well, he's not a functional athlete, or he's not like an explosive athlete. But I think they haven't been paying attention to you recently. So can you just talk a little bit about just how your body is changing since the growth spurt?
I think it's changed, and from my freshman year, obviously, I was 5'9", 135 pounds, to now like 6'4", 185, pushing 185. So I think, like I said, just staying consistent with my eating habits, keeping my body healthy. And like I said, just being in the weight room, working on my explosiveness, obviously. I think that's the biggest thing as a guard. You have to be able to get up and down the floor quick, have quick movements. And I think that's just a separator for me. And I think that helps a lot with, expanding my game. I don't have to depend on a jump shot as much. I could get by you. I could get to the free throw line. I think that's a big thing for me as well.
I think it works to your advantage because it's sneaky right now. Like, you've been catching guys with the left-hand dunks. And people aren't expecting it. So do you think like people are still like surprised by how bouncy you are now?
I think people are, and I've done it a couple of times now. So I think now people are gonna start seeing like, hey, he'll get up every once in a while. And I think if you just give me that lane, I'm just gonna take off now at this point. And I think that just comes with the work that I put in, and in the weight room and the hours that I've put in to being committed to me getting more explosive.
But you're dunking with the left. Mm-hmm. Like, is that just part of being ambidextrous, or you worked on left-hand dunks?
Nah, that's just part of being ambidextrous.
Okay.
For sure.
There's very few, like John Wall comes to mind as far as righties that dunk left-handed. And I was actually surprised the first time I saw it. I was like, dang, did he punch on him with the left? All right, let's talk about just your overall summer. Your transition into college. We talked offline, and you said you report within a week. What were you working on this summer as far as helping you prepare for that next step?
I think just getting, adapted to the physicality and the speed of the college game. Definitely more detailed than the high school game. I think, going in, kind of was green to it all, just trying to get a feel of how this team wants to play, how my coaches want me to play. And like I said, they just want me to play free, play through mistakes early and often. and just get used to that physicality standpoint. You know, do everything hard, be like very attention to detail. PK is very, very big on like just details and being there and being in the right spots all the time. And I think over the course of the summer, I kind of got better from the first practice to the last practice that we had, and I think that's going to help me going into this preseason.
You guys are loaded with talent, but you got shooters. You got a lot of shooters, which is going to give you a lot of different. It's going to give you a lot of space to operate. The question that a lot of people have, and one of the questions I have is, and it's actually a good thing, is like, what is your best position, or should we just not even box you in a position because you can play multiple roles?
I think I could do it all, but mainly I think I'm a point guard. Obviously, I want to create for others. I think that's the separator for me is I'm gonna be able to create for others and get my guys, going, get them the ball, get them flowing. And I think that'll just help me out and, open the court even more for me because once they're going, now it makes it my life easier to be able to score. So I think just definitely playmaking for my teammates.
One thing about your game that I think is pretty unique is that you've played multiple roles in high school. Like you've been the pure point guard in a sense, you've been the scorer. Tell me how that has like basically shaped you and put you in this position you are in today.
It's helped me a lot. To be able to adapt to different situations, I think is definitely a separator in terms of you can be able you could play on a really, really good team and be impactful by just being a playmaker, but also you could score it as well. And then I could go to the other team where, okay, we need you to score, I can score it. To be able to do both, I think is a separator for me, and I think that's what separates me from our class.
Yesterday I had a chance to watch you and your dad work out, and just tell me how much your dad has impacted and shaped your game. He's tough on you, I've seen that.
Yeah. I can't even put into words how much time and emphasis that he put into, expanding my game and making the player and the person that I am today, on and off the court. He gives me life lessons all the time, as a man. Just be professional about everything and treat everybody with respect. And I think that translates on the court as well. I respect all my opponents, but I also know the work that I put in. So he's definitely shaped me to who I am today, especially, my mom. I think my mom is big in my process too, just because she's been that supporter for me. But yeah, my father for sure. I mean, I can't thank him enough just to be able to be in this position. He's got me to this point, so I mean, it's a blessing to have him.
Yeah, I think you have a good balance. I met your mom briefly, but seeing both of your parents here, I think that's pretty cool to see.
Athlete.ai is the story of an athlete. And every athlete deserves to have the story told. Under the lights and in the spotlight. This is your moment, your rule. Download, capture, create, and share. Athlete.ai. Your name is trending.
One of the things I noticed when you worked out yesterday, and I've been around NBA players, I've seen a lot of workouts, but you guys worked on passing. Mm-hmm. How important is that? Like you were doing like behind the back passes, hook passes. How important is passing in like your workouts?
I think that's very important. Like I said, being that point guard that I am, I think I have to be able to get the ball to my guys like direct and like precise. Like I don't want no sloppy pass. I want them to be able to be comfortable when catching the ball, to get a shot off or to put them in the right position to make a play. I think at the point guard position, you have to be able to do that. You watch Tyrese Halliburton these days, you watch Trae Young, they thread the needle perfectly all the time. And I also go back, watch Steve Nash, watch Rajon Rondo, Chris Paul, and how, they pass the ball. And I think I just try to take their game, their piece of their game, and try to implement it into mine. So I think that is big for me as a point guard to be able to, play make for my teammates and also get the ball to them like on time and on target.
Yeah. When I talked with your dad yesterday, he mentioned that you guys watch a lot of European basketball and EuroLeague. Do you think that played a role in you just being so comfortable playing in Switzerland at the U19s? Because it is a different game, the rules are a little bit different, but do you think that played a role in everything?
That did. Watching the European game, they played basketball the right way. Obviously, they're not the most athletic, but I think that forces them to have that basketball IQ to be able to play at a high level. And I think that's what separates the Europeans in terms of how we play. You know, basketball IQ, they're skilled, they're very skilled. I think, going over there in Switzerland and playing their game, I kind of already got a glimpse of it, a taste of it in Argentina.
Yep.
And I think that kind of helped me translate into playing in Switzerland and U19. So it kind of made it easier for me already because I was kind of already adjusted. I already knew the rules and how, they play over there. I think that was a separator for me. And definitely, yeah, European basketball, I think, is great to watch just because you can learn a lot from it.
Yep.
So, especially when NBA ball and college ball is not, like, they're not, you can't watch them right now. They don't play till the fall. So I definitely watch a lot of European basketball.
Yeah, I've spent time and I've lived in Europe and I've been to like a lot of practices and a lot of EuroLeague games, and they're definitely more tactical. So they practice a lot.
They practice a lot, less games, probably one game, but they practice 2 times a day.
Yep. Yes, if you're lucky enough to play in if you're a pro and you're playing a league or you're playing in the EuroLeague or international competitions, you're lucky you can play 2 or 3 times a week. But if your team is only in the domestic league, you may have 7 or 8 practices for one game, which players are like, they hate that because it's so much practice. But I think because they don't have the athletes and even just the talent pool to choose from like we have, that they have to be more tactical to even compete. And so I thought it was unique that your dad said that you guys watch EuroLeague games. Who's your favorite like European player of all time, or guy that you just kind of you watch his game and you like what he does?
I'll probably either say Milos,
Teodosic, the best passer,
and I was watching his clips the other day. I'll probably say him, Mike James.
Mike James, yep, seen him in person a few times.
Shane Larkin.
Okay, Teodosic is one of my all-time favorites. I hate that he came over to the NBA late. I got some tweets out there jokingly, or when my son is only 3, but we're gonna watch a lot of Teodosic passes
100%.
just because the creativity. Like, I mean, I've seen him throw a full-length 94-foot scoop pass. I've seen him throw a behind-the-back pass where he's at the rim, but he throws it behind the back and he hits the shooter in the shooting pocket. Just the confidence to make those passes, too, the timing and the accuracy. So I actually think it's cool that you watch players from all over the world, and you can take a little bit of their game. Let's talk about this year. Like, what are some of your goals that you have set for yourself for your freshman year?
Obviously to make a big impact coming in as a freshman, but I think first and foremost and the only goal on my mind right now is a national championship. And I think winning a national championship, as long as you're winning, the accolades will come with it. As long as I just make an impact, be a big impact to this team in this year's run. But yeah, national championship is the only thing on my mind right now, and I think everything else will take care of itself.
From just the human element, is there pressure, being in your shoes right now?
No, there's no pressure at all. Like I said, I trust my work, and I know how much hours I put into this game. And I think it's a blessing to be able to step on the court at a high level in college basketball and to be able to play against the best of the best. I think it's a privilege. So I'm definitely not going to take it for granted. But yeah, there's no pressure.
I mean, that's interesting that you say that, just because everybody, has a different situation. There's some people, they may have the pressure of, all right, I got to make it. I got to take care of mom and dad, and just in this social media era where you can just type in your name and you can find all the good stuff, and then you can find the people that are, maybe doubters or don't believe in you. And I just wonder, like, for you as, 19, 18?
19.
That, is that pressure of knowing that, your life can change a lot within the next year. So, I mean, I'm glad to hear that you don't feel like it's a lot of pressure. When did you feel like, you know what, I can be an NBA player? Was it something that you knew at an early age? Was it something that, when you were 15 or 16? Like, when did you realize, like, I can be an NBA player?
I always had, set in my mind when I first stepped on the court, like, hey, I want to be an NBA basketball player, just because I watched, a whole bunch of games growing up with my pops. But I'd probably say it probably clicked around my sophomore and my junior year. I'll probably say I had in my mind, like, hey, I have a possibility, like, my freshman, but, like, when I was really, like, setting, like, oh, this might, like, I can make it possible, I'll probably say the end of my sophomore year and my junior year was when, like, hey, I'm right there, like, it's close. And that just motivated me to go harder and stay in the gym.
The first time I saw you play live, Let me know if you remember this game. So it was All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis. And that's when I was like, okay, this kid is special. Do you remember that game?
In Indianapolis, All-Star Weekend. So I was with the Cold Hearts, I'm guessing. All-Star Weekend?
It was All-Star Weekend. It was, you had a bunch of NBA players coming to the game. It was freezing cold that night. I remember Brandon Miller was there, Carter Knox, and Catchings.
Yeah. I remember that game. You lost that game. Now I remember that game.
John Bowl
Yep,
played
John
that
Bowl,
game.
yeah, JB. Yeah,
So that was the first time
game.
I saw you play. But that's when I thought, okay, this kid is I think an NBA player. And then obviously I had a chance to watch you play a lot at or just however many games it was in Switzerland. But I feel like I said your game has just changed and evolved so much. But you've also had different roles. So as far as like the NBA, and I know we're like, you know, looking ahead here. But what do you think your role would be in the NBA?
Like I said, a guy that just has a big impact on winning. I think obviously I want to be the primary guy to go to. But like I said, I'm trying to stay present right now, and I'm not there just yet, but we'll see when I get there. But I'm more focused on, you know, what I have with this team right now. I want to stay present and stay where my feet are.
So what's a typical day like for you, at least this summer? What's a typical day like as far as working out and just preparing for college?
You know, wake up in the morning, probably like 9, breakfast. I'll have lift at 11. Then we'll have skill work at like 12:45, depending on if we have skill work. If we'll have practice at like 1:30. So I try to, if we have practice at 1:30, I'll probably work out before practice, get my body going, practice, then I'll shoot after practice. And I'm probably home. I'll do recovery right after that. And then I'll probably be at the crib by like 6:37, you know, trying to wind it down. I think that's a normal day for me. And it changes depending on, you know, what my schedule is with the team. But other than that, I stick to that same schedule.
So we're here at Camp Seros and at the Combine Academy campus. Why was it important for you to be here just weeks before you start classes?
I think it's very important just because, you know, I take it as, you know, I'm soaking up information from other people that could help me be a better player. Definitely, you know, being around Christian Dawkins, he's a great person to be around. And I think just coming here to support and also just give advice to the high schoolers on what you should prepare for when you get to college and how it's going to be. I think just, you know, pouring into them and getting them to understand the level of focus that you need going into college, I think will be a separator for them.
And you got a little brother here.
Yeah.
I was watching him play, and he was playing with the high school kids. He's what, 8th grade? And he wasn't afraid. He was holding his own. He was playing with the high school kids. So just tell me a little bit about your brother's game.
I think he definitely is a better point guard than I was at that age. Okay. You know, 8th grade, I was a point guard, but I really wasn't looking to create for others as much as I am now. I was more of like, I'm trying to score. He's trying to actually make for others, get the ball to others, you know, make them better, and then his points will come in later. I actually think he should shoot more, in my opinion, when he plays.
You got in trouble for that yesterday.
Yeah, I think he should shoot more when he plays, but I think that's going to come with confidence. Yeah. I think the biggest thing with him is just, you know, gaining that confidence and, like I said, just trusting your work. You know, like he knows how much hours he puts into this game every single day with my father when I'm not home and I'm at school. And I think the biggest thing with him is confidence. I think once he gets that, it's going to be a wrap.
Yep. So tell me a little bit about you off the court. Like, what do you like to do? What are your interests?
Very chill life. I like to play a lot of video games. I play a lot of video games when I'm at home. I love to fish. Also like, you know, hanging out with the guys, you know, having quality time, whatever we're doing, you know, whether that's going to a basketball game, going to watch a basketball game, or, you know, going to the store. Like, my life is very, very chill, I would say, and everything's based like around sports. If it's not sports, then I don't want to be around it. So.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you.